Transform yourself into a remarkable presence and make that woman miss you. In this video, I'll show you how it's possible to make your presence so significant that she remembers you and misses you when you're not together. In other words, how to make her, after a conversation or a few minutes of messaging, go home and feel your absence. It's not just about giving space or disappearing, because the myth that simply ignoring someone makes them miss you is not true. The key to making a woman miss you is to make your presence unforgettable when you're together. If you saturate your presence, always available, constantly wanting to talk, and suffocating her, she won't miss you. Desire arises in absence, and for that desire to manifest as longing and a yearning for your presence, it's crucial that your presence is remarkable. You only miss a dish you ate or a dessert if it was genuinely enjoyable, flavorful, and, above all, memorable. You won't miss all the foods or things you experience daily, only those that left a lasting impression on your memory. Many people often struggle to understand how women work, what affects them, and what resonates with them to create a strong and powerful masculine presence. Here, I'll address one of the essential points that make your presence extremely significant to a woman, and that point is called emotional connection. To explain how to establish an emotional connection, I first need to clarify what this connection is. Emotional connection occurs when one person feels intimately connected to another, when they perceive that the other person knows and understands them, as if their emotions merge and connect deeply. This creates a sense of intimacy. In the context of seduction and conquest, making the other person genuinely interested, emotional connection plays a crucial role, being important for both men and women, although it can have an even more significant impact on women. Of course, let's continue developing this idea. Imagine the development line of a woman and a social line in which men and women are embedded. From a very young age, women are encouraged and not judged when they share their own emotions. It's natural for them to develop friendships where they share intimacies, pains, fears, insecurities, and dreams. Socially, this practice is encouraged for women, allowing them to achieve a level of depth in their friendships from an early age. They learn to share their emotions not only with friends but also with parents and family. This behavior is widely accepted and encouraged in building close relationships. Men, on the other hand, receive education and social construction more geared towards action. Male friendships often develop through shared activities such as playing games, practicing sports, and taking joint actions, with less focus on deep conversations and intense emotional connections. Observing samples of adults, it's common to find that adult women have friends or good friends with whom they share significant aspects of their lives. They discuss details about their encounters, how they are feeling, and share experiences with considerable depth. However, for adult men, it's more challenging to find examples where they share such intimate details with friends. The social tendency is for men to share fewer personal details and often avoid depth in conversations about what's happening in their lives. These different approaches reflect gender social constructions and expectations around emotional expression and sharing between men and women. This male tendency not to delve into their own issues, remaining focused on action, work, and execution, is not something right or wrong, good or bad. It's simply a characteristic observed in male interactions. The result of this is the often limited ability of men to create a significant connection with women. This difficulty arises from the fact that men were not taught to cultivate this skill, as it's not inherently natural for them. In terms of relationships, this often translates into taking longer to emotionally detach. Men can remain emotionally attached to a relationship for a more extended period, as they have established a level of deep connection that they may not have with anyone else. If 2 years have passed in a relationship, for example, it can be challenging for a man to emotionally detach since that connection was unique. It's essential to note that concerning passion, emotional connection tends to be significantly more relevant for women, as they are more accustomed to exploring emotional depth. Now, to create an emotional connection with a woman, I'll provide valuable guidance in this video. If you want to know how to develop this crucial element and make your presence extraordinarily significant so that she misses you a lot, leave your like below. This content is so valuable that it could be a paid mentorship or class. Therefore, your feedback is crucial to continue generating value. I appreciate it if you can leave your like and share your experiences in the comments. It helps me better understand your needs. Before sharing the steps to establish an emotional connection, it's crucial to clarify a common doubt related to this point. Many people wonder if emotionally deepening with a woman, creating closer intimacy, will result in being placed in the friend zone. The answer is no. Creating an emotional connection does not automatically lead to the friend zone. What can put you in that situation is not activating sexual tension, not inserting doses of boldness and flirting, and essentially approaching the interaction as if you were acting as a friend or psychologist, seeking to understand all her emotions without generating sexual attraction at the same time. Therefore, it's vital to balance emotional connection with elements. It's essential to highlight that establishing an emotional connection is not about avoiding this desire. In fact, sexual tension and emotional connection can coexist powerfully. The key is not to neglect the importance of generating that tension because even if it doesn't happen instantly, it can be strategically built over time. Let's discuss how to establish a strong and magnetic connection with a woman to the point where she misses you and falls in love. The crucial first step is to listen to her in a way that understands the feelings behind what she is sharing. A common mistake that can harm the connection is when you go into a conversation or flirtation with your own selfish thoughts. If you're more concerned about what you'll say in response, how you'll impress her, and are centered on yourself, it nullifies your chances of building an authentic connection. So, distance yourself from these thoughts and genuinely focus on listening to what she has to say. Most of the time, you listen to the woman, but you don't say anything. You're so involved that your expressions reveal that you understand and connect. By practicing this active listening, sometimes, she's sharing something joyful, and you laugh together, not just superficially but genuinely connected to the emotion behind her words. Therefore, listen with the intention of understanding the feelings and emotions underlying what the woman is expressing. Set aside your thoughts and immerse yourself in her emotional experience. Point where you find something in common with her that genuinely interests you, and obviously, also interests her. If she's talking about a subject that doesn't spark your interest, ask questions that lead her to share something you genuinely find interesting. This not only shows that you're engaged in the conversation but also helps find areas where both of you have common interests and can connect more deeply. The goal is to be fully interested, valuing what she says, and creating a connection based on common interests. By being involved in the conversation, listening, and talking about things that interest both of you, you create a dynamic where she feels more attracted and validated. The natural tendency is that, by talking more, the person unconsciously seeks to qualify and validate their own experiences. By adopting this posture of active listening and participation in the conversation, you contribute to increasing her attraction to you. This happens subtly and unconsciously but can be a powerful tool to create a deeper connection. These are the 3 fundamental tips for creating a strong and magnetic connection with a woman, making her miss you and fall in love. Remember to genuinely listen, be fully interested, and at the same time, create a dynamic that makes her feel attracted and validated. These elements combined can significantly contribute to establishing a deeper emotional connection. Fourth, talk about things that interest her and also interest you. This creates an unconscious feeling of attraction because the woman feels more valued and qualified by talking more, generating an increase in attraction. The fourth essential tip is to ask deep questions. This is the gold of the video. Questions that go beyond the superficial and seek to understand the person's emotions and feelings. The example of asking about her parents, how they met, is an excellent way to create a deeper connection, provided there is the appropriate context. Other deep questions may be related to the present, such as finding out what her biggest dream is today. These questions help establish a more significant emotional connection. The power of deep questions lies in the fact that, by sharing intimate and deep things, the woman feels more comfortable in your presence. This makes you become a familiar presence to her, paving the way for greater openness, including in physical intimacy. By demonstrating genuine interest and disassociating from the stereotype of a man who only seeks sexual objectification, you build a solid foundation for a genuine emotional connection. Fourth, ask deep questions, as understand that there is no superficial connection, the connection is real or never existed. Be authentic throughout this process. These tips are valuable tools to make your interactions more authentic and meaningful. By following these steps, you'll be better prepared to have engaging conversations with any woman, making your presence stand out. If this content was helpful to you, don't hesitate to leave your like now. A strong hug.